We're now 2 for 2. Kuma did lose his mind and got turned into a cyborg because of Mr. Saturn. But there were conditions. I'm your host Shinry, here with Everything Anime Podcast, talk about from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, and the relevant topic we're talking about. Today's video is on One Piece chapter 1100. Can you believe it? We are 1100 chapters into One Piece, and everything's being revealed. As we found out from Oda, there was 5 years left of One Piece in 2020, and we are near the end. There is so many revelations. Last chapter, I called it Revelations. This time, I don't know what we're going to call it. But there are way more answers than ever. Okay, so let's start with the obvious. Kuma got turned into a cyborg because of Mr. Saturn. Well, he gave him conditions. To heal Bonnie, even though Vegapunk agreed to heal Bonnie in exchange for making Kuma his model for the army of pacifistas, the government was listening in because, of course, they were like, Vegapunk, this is your island. You're the smartest man in the world. I mean, this is your laboratory. You're the smartest man in the world, but you weren't smart enough to figure out that we'd listen to your conversation. So Barcelino shows up. And, I'm glad the warlords are being added into these flashbacks. We had Aokiji in Gorp's flashback. We have Barcelino in this flashback. We'll probably get Aki Uno's flashback at some point. But anyways, it's good to see Barcelino. And I have something to say about this in a second about Barcelino, but we're going to continue what happened. So basically, the world government was over-listening to Vegapunk and Kuma. And they're like, Vegapunk doesn't decide who gets to be the model for the pacifistas. Vegapunk doesn't decide where the world government's money goes. We decide that. But we're willing to work with you. We will save your daughter in exchange for you becoming our pacifista. But we want 3 things. The first is you to become one of the warlords of the sea. Now, I thought they would show who the warlords are. There is kind of a panel at the end where I'm going to guess who the 7 warlords are based off the panels I showed. But I could be wrong. But I think I'm not. So we'll get to that in a second. Because if one of these people is, that is hilarious. Secondly, well, we can talk about it now because this is a review. So the 7 warlords that we see, one is Crocodile, one is Whitebeard, one is, who's that shadow guy? The one that goes, whatever, that shadow guy. We see Doflamingo. The princess, oh my god, why am I forgetting all these names? The snake princess, we see her. 6, we saw, I think I said Whitebeard. I'll say Whitebeard. We saw Whitebeard, Kuma, obviously, Crocodile, Doflamingo, Snake Princess, Shadow Guy. And there was a panel of Alvida. There is no way you won't fucking tell me Alvida was one of the 7 warlords of the sea. 7 warlords of the sea. I will fight somebody if Alvida was one of the 7 warlords. It could have been her just in a panel, but the fact that you showed all the other 6 warlords at the time and then show Alvida. If Alvida was a fucking warlord, Oda, we're gonna fight. She is way too weak to be a warlord. If she was. But that's not confirmed. Second condition was you have to be turned into a cyborg. That was the second condition. So the first one, you become a warlord. The second one, you become a cyborg. We augment your body. And Kuma was still comfortable with these 2 ideas. He's like, okay, whatever. I'll become a cyborg and I'll become the warlord of the sea. The third condition, however, is the worst one. They say, we want you to give up your mind and body. You're going to basically be a slave. We're going to erase all your memories. You're going to have no free will. You're going to do whatever we say. And immediately Vegapunk's pissed off. He's like, you're talking about killing a man. We're going to turn him into a cyborg, 1. That's fine. We're going to turn him into a warlord. That's fine. But erasing his memories and free will, he's basically dead. And Vegapunk's pissed off. But again, Mr. Saturn and the world government are like, if he wants to save his daughter and us to blow all this money, he has to agree to this. And Kuma immediately was like, if it'll save my daughter, I'll gladly do it. Oda with the feels, bro. Oda with the goddamn feels, bro. This man is one of the greatest writers of all time. I'm not joking. If you're not watching One Piece, not caught up, if you're not learning the lore, if you gave up after 2 episodes, if you gave up after the first season, you need to go back because it's more story in world building than Naruto. It's got more and better battles than Bleach. It's bigger than that. And, I love it. And Kuma, like I said, he agrees. He's like, I am willing to do this. And there's other conditions too. You can never talk to Bonnie again. Like after we cure her, it's going to take like 2 years to cure. It takes 1.5 years to cure her, but it's going to take 2 years to turn you into a cyborg. And then we're slowly going to erase her. We're going to slowly get rid of your free will over time. So answering my question from the last video, when does Kuma, stop protecting the Straw Hats? When did he, when did all that happen? It's done over time. So that kind of makes sense. It's paying off the seeds Oda planted throughout the story. How Kuma still had free will before, and then he doesn't have any, I think, in the Marine Forward War, I think he has no free will at that point. So it's paying off those seeds. And he might still have some free will because we didn't know where he was heading to whenever he was attacking Marios. We still don't know where that is because Akino was trying to stop him. But yes, what was I just saying? Oh my God, I lost my train of thought. Come back to me. Yeah, so he can never see his daughter again. That's part of the conditions. So they get to spend time together while they're in treatment. And there's like these funny gags like Barcelona dancing with them, doing like the Gear 5th dance or the celebration of a Joy Boy dance. And I thought that was funny. That's what I mean about Barcelona. Like, I think it's funny that he was doing the Joy Boy dance and Vegapunk was doing it too. It's really cute. There's some scenes like them being operated on, like Bonnie being operated on for her sapphire scales, and then Kuma being experimented on by Vegapunk to turn into a cyborg. And he tells Bonnie like, oh, I'm sick too. And then Bonnie's like, twinsies, because he doesn't want her to know. Oh, another condition is he doesn't want Bonnie to know that she had sapphire scales. He doesn't want her to know she was sick, and he doesn't want her to know what's happening to him. He also doesn't want her to know that he'll never be able to see her again, because that's part of the conditions. Lastly, this answers why the world government protected Bonnie. It's not because she has Buccaneer blood. I was wrong about that. Bonnie does not have Buccaneer blood. I mean, we knew that from the last chapter, Revelations, but we also now know why they protected her, why they wanted to keep Bonnie safe for so long. As long as Kuma has free will, or had free will, Bonnie was protected. Because if obviously after we heal Bonnie, if you want to turn against us, there's nothing to stop us. You have the power of a cyborg. You're a warlord of the sea, and you're that powerful. So we're gonna protect Bonnie until you fully lost your free will. Then after that, she's a pirate like any other. We'll kill her. Paying off his seeds, paying off the things Oda planted. It's telling that this is beyond even my writing scale. Like, I've been writing for 20 years. I have gone back, and maybe he didn't plan everything out from the beginning. I certainly didn't. I'm going to spoil my own book, because if you're not caught up in Show vs. Samurai by now, the 3rd book is out, and Kokujo is the main villain. In the beginning of Show vs. Samurai, Kokujo was seen as a weak human. He has no memory of who he is or his last name. That's what he tells Shobu. But throughout the story, you see Kokujo do some weird things, like when the Saint Shields attack, Kokujo has this murderous intent to attack them. And then Kokujo loses his soul halfway through the book and they have to go save Kokujo. So it makes Kokujo like a weakling. And then Kokujo dies in Show vs. Shinry 1, the Sword of Light. Well, he gets captured first and he dies at the end of the book. And then you find out in the 3rd book, Show vs. Shinry entered the Dread Zone tournament, Kokujo had replaced himself with a fake. And, well, I mean, there's more to it than that. I'm not going to spoil everything. But he replaced himself with somebody, and he has been the mastermind behind this whole war the entire time. It might not seem like a big thing to you, but when I first started Show vs. Samurai, I had no idea how evil Kokujo was going to turn out. Even I didn't know. But it worked in the story. I mean, I had to, go back, foreshadow, plant seeds and things like that. But that's how writing works. They didn't plan out the Infinity Saga from the beginning. They just wrote Captain America. They wrote Iron Man, did their thing. They wrote Captain America, did their thing. And then they found a way to bring them together. And then they found a way to turn what the hell is that thing called? The cube into an Infinity Stone that y'all know what the fucking Infinity Stones are. They found a way to incorporate that into a saga. That's what I mean. So writers, we don't plan out everything, but we can build around it. And so, yes, we know why Bonnie was protected all that time. Now, Bonnie goes to this island. This is something new. Again, we're meeting new characters like that Swordsman a few chapters ago. The one that, like, works for the Five Elders. Saint Gerald or something like that. A totally new character that nobody knows anything about. I don't care what you say. There was no lore about that guy until he showed up. Now we meet somebody from Cypher Pole number 8 named Alpha. She's like a doctor. And she says that she's going to protect Bonnie for a year while she can't go out into the sunlight or the daylight. Because Bonnie still, well, even after treatment, she still has a year before she'll be like fully cured. They like gave her the treatment, but like she has to go a year before she can go out into the sunlight and the daylight, and it'll be before her 10th birthday. So Kuma kept his promise; she'll be healed before her 10th birthday. Which I had something about that too. I think Bonnie is younger than we think she is. Maybe it's definitely, unless it was a huge time skip. It could be a huge time skip because I do think Bonnie is as old as Luffy or just a little bit younger than Luffy. It could be, but we'll see. I'll get to that speculation at the end. But yeah, and she basically is like threatening Kuma. She's like, if you ever come back, I can snap her neck, like, because, you know, Cyber Pole's incredibly strong. And Kuma's like, don't worry, I don't plan on coming back. I'm going to keep my promise. You can slowly take away my free will. I will become your 7th warlord. I will become a model for your pacifistas. I just do not hurt my daughter, and I'll do whatever you say. And so the way the chapter ends is Kuma is announced as a 7th warlord across the, you know, in the newspaper from News Morgan around the world, and that's when we get all the we get to see all the current 7 warlords, and that's when I said like the Shadow Guy, Crocodile, Doflamingo, Snake Princess, Alvida for some fucking reason, Whitebeard. So, and that makes Kuma make 7. So that means Alvida had to be a fucking warlord. I mean, I know Buggy's a warlord, and yeah, Buggy is a joke warlord. He's only, but Buggy the Cloud has stayed irrelevant. We know why Buggy the Cloud is relevant right now, because he has Crocodile and Mihawk as his like subordinates, but not really subordinates. They just like made the Cross Guild. But still, it's like, Alvida really, maybe the pirates are weak back then. Alvida could take them down. I mean, I guess. Because Alvida did have a bounty. Okay, let me not talk too loud. I don't want to spoil it for my brother. Anyway, I think that's it. Now I'm going to talk in speculation. Like I said, I think there's one flashback left. I think next chapter is the end of these flashbacks, because the way it ends is we get a shot of Luffy as Kuma's given orders to go after somebody in the Grand Line, and we see Luffy. Now, I think this would be Thriller Bark. It didn't look like zombies were chasing him. It looked like a tiger was chasing him, and I don't think there was a tiger on Thriller Bark. But I'm just assuming that's where Kuma's gonna go, because I think that was the first time Kuma was introduced with Thriller Bark. He does show up again on Sabia Archipelago. He does show up in the Marineford War and throughout the story post that. But his first significant show up was like, you know, holding the Bible, standing on a pillar, and then just poofing out of existence with his pawpaw powers. So I do think this is going to be the first time, like, Kuma with his free will doesn't know that Luffy's Joy Boy yet. He doesn't know that, but he just says like, I was ordered to kill Luffy, but Zoro, you take this pain, I'll let Luffy go. If you can survive Luffy's pain, I'll let you go. I think that's where we're going to end up in the opening of the next chapter. And then post that, you'll just get sprinkles of like him losing his mind slowly. We go to Sabi Archipelago. Maybe now he knows Luffy's Joy Boy. And he's like, I'm going to send your crew where they need to go. That'll help them get stronger. And then I think that's the last. Oh, no, he protected the Straw Hat ship for 2 years. So he then goes back to get his memory erased again, but he tells Vegapunk, like, I know Luffy is Joy Boy, or I think Luffy's related to Joy Boy. Let me protect their ship as the last thing I can do, and then you can fully erase my memory. I think this is the last flashback coming up. 1101 is going to end these flashbacks. We have got so many answers, guys, by this point. So many. We know who Joy Boy is. We know who Oh, I didn't even talk about the revolutionaries. The revolutionaries, how they reacted to the reason why he wanted to make Kuma a warlord specifically is because Saturn knew that Kuma was in the Revolutionary Army at some point. He knows he has ties to them. He's like, if you're seen as one of our warlords, don't think you work for us. Don't think you betrayed them. Obviously, Dragon and Ivankov are going to know something's up, or he definitely had to do it for his daughter. Like, they know that's why he even went to see Vegapunk, and, like, obviously Vegapunk works for the government, so Kuma might have got dragged into it. I don't believe Dragon for a second is like, Kuma betrayed us. I don't think that for a second. Sabo was in that flashback. We already knew at that point. We knew post Luffy, Sabo, and Ace's flashback that Dragon had recruited Sabo. Also, there's a mention of Ace taking down one of the 7 warlords. It's not said who he took down, but oh, Jinbe was there. So maybe Alvida's not a warlord at the time. Maybe she was just commenting, because it could have been Jinbe. That actually makes more sense, because we know Jinbe was a warlord. Hey guys, quick intro here. I forgot to mention the other reason why Vegapunk has all these other 5 versions of himself, or 6 versions, is because as he was making Kuma into a cyborg and carrying Bonnie's sapphire scales, his mind was racing with ideas and inventions, and it was so much for him. He's like, I gotta eat, but I gotta write this down. I gotta make this weapon, but I gotta write this down. So he was like, I need more of me. If there was only 5, 6 more of me, I could do this. So that's why Vegapunk created the other Vegapunks that we see throughout the story on Egghead Island, is because he had so many ideas he wanted to do it at one time, or so many things he wanted to do at one time, that he created other versions of himself. Like, imagine if we could use shadow clone jutsu like Naruto, and like our shadow clones can do other things while we're, working on one project. But then when they explode, they poof back into us, we get all the knowledge from that shadow clone. Like, imagine that. That would be pretty dope. That's what only insert. But alright guys, this video is getting pretty long. That was pretty much it. Again, so much exciting things. I'm working on the Paper Mario video. It's coming out. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that one. Yeah, that's what's next. Paper Mario. The Paper Mario review is going to be out by Christmas. I've already got all the notes done. I've already got the video gameplay done. I just have to start recording. I was going to review BioShock next, but my PS5 has constantly been breaking down, so I can't play BioShock currently. So the BioShock review is going to be pushed back for a while, but it's fine because BioShock's only 4 hours long, 4 to 6 hours long. It's not that long, so I can get that review done pretty fast. Yeah, I can't wait to show you guys the Paper Mario video. It's going to be huge. It might be a super long video. I will break it up into like sections, unlike the other. Kind of like how I did Infamous. Infamous did turn out to be 2 hours long, and Infamous Festival of Blood was like, well, yeah, because I did Gotham Knights too. My Gotham Knights video was 10 minutes. We'll see how long Paper Mario goes. Paper Mario is one of my favorite games, so I made sure to be as detailed as possible about each thing I want to talk about. So it might be a long video. I hope you guys are ready for that. But it will be entertaining. It will be informative, especially you guys that just played 1,000 Year Door and you didn't play Paper Mario 64. Paper Mario 64 walked, so Paper Mario the 1,000 Year Door could run. Okay, just keep that in mind. All right, guys, that's it for now. We'll talk to you guys in the next video. We're going to the sponsor, and hope you guys have a great weekend. All right, bye. Hey, guys, this video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces the choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far, and then these books are 2. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament, and the series original ending, Arado the Legendary Conjuring Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these, but I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If You Go Where Monsters Dance, Red will Reign Over Your House, Love Be Damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school because, of course, he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love BK's right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.